Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper back at you with Plugin Boutique, and I got a brand new plugin to share with you today. It's by WA Production, it's called Screamo. This is a modulating, filtering, and distortion plugin that's really unique, and I've been having a ton of fun using it on some industrial drum and bass. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how I've been using it inside of this project, as well as walk you through each of these parameters and let you know a little bit about what each one does. It's all coming up, so let's get into it. Alright everybody, so this is Screamo right here, a very simple to use plugin. Everything that is manipulatable is on the screen right now. I'm going to go ahead and just play this track real quick so you can hear it, and then I'm going to run through some of the channels that have Screamo on it and let you know what I did to affect them. And along the way, talk about each of these parameters and tell you a little bit about what they do to the sound. So, let's check out this track. Okay, so this is kind of like an industrial style sounding track. It's obviously drum and bass. And as I said in the beginning of this video, that's where I've really been finding myself using Screamo the most. If I'm going for lo-fi, trip hop, vintage, or industrial sounding effects, Screamo is really lending itself to that. And that has to do with the smear and drive effects, as well as the LFO control here at the bottom. So the best way to run through these parameters is to run it on this bass line. This is the bass line right here. And this is the bass line without Screamo. And the bypass button in Screamo is the actual logo itself. So you can see here, it's a quite smooth bass line. It is already pretty grungy, but as soon as I throw on Screamo, it's just adding that extra bit of upper harmonic character to the track and really helping it fill out those frequencies and add that grit to it. Inside of this project, I actually have Screamo on 5 different channels, and it's all doing something different for each one of those. For example, on the hats here, you can see it's just adding that bit of motion. And the way it's doing that is with the smear effect. And what this does is adds 2 resonant shelving filters with modulating frequency, gain, and resonance to create a talk box kind of screaming effect. And this effect is actually controlled by the LFO down here at the bottom, where we have control over the shape. You can see we've got sine, triangle, square, and then sawtooth up or down. I'm obviously using it up here, and that's what's giving it kind of that wavy feel. Then we have the speed here. And then we have a smoothing of the actual LFO itself if we want to do that here. So the smear actually has 3 different modes, which you can cycle through here. And what this does is going to say how the filter is actually modulated over the frequencies. So essentially we have 3 smear style effects. So we can go from mid to low, mid to high, or from the mid to both sides. So let me go ahead and really boost up the drive here, really boost up the smear amount. So you can hear the difference in movement quite clearly there. You can turn it back down. Drive is pretty straightforward. You have a drive amount, and you can actually multiply that by clicking this right here. We've got 3 different styles of drive, as it were. The makeup knob is like a makeup gain here, but for the most part, you're going to want to actually be pulling back on this. Usually makeup gain is there to add a little bit of extra lost gain. This is actually going to be so you can roll it back, because the smear and drive, when combined together, actually really boost the sound. A couple other notes before I just show you some more examples of it used inside of this project is you can completely bypass the LFO if you want, and then just really hear the sound. You can either use that as a distortion saturation style effect, or you can put on that LFO to get the actual smearing going on. And also in terms of the LFO shape, you can actually decide where the LFO will start. When the circle is empty, it's going to start at 0 degrees. Here it will be 90, 180, and so on and so forth. Speed also has a cyclable parameter up here at the top. S stands for straight, triplets, or dotted time signatures. And that's it. It does come with a number of factory presets, as you can see here. This is a good starting point to get some different styles. If I come in here and just turn II2, and then I can cycle through them all and listen to them on anything. So that's like actually giving it a whole different rhythm on these particular hats here. As I said, very simple to use plugins. Let's listen to what it's doing on some of these other sounds here. So not only is it adding a bit of waviness, but it's definitely adding a bunch of upper frequency content to that particular sound too, and it's distorted and sounding really industrial, and I'm loving it. So that's a really good example of how I like to use Screamo right there on those. This is a little bit too subdued in my opinion. Especially for this track and the feel I'm going for. Yes. It just sounds better. Sounds more gritty, and that's what we're looking for, right? So anyway, as I said, very simple to use plugin. It's great for getting the gritty sounds, industrial sounds, or anything of that nature. The smear effect is pretty unique in and of itself. That combined with the drive and your LFO controls, and you've really got a great plugin for your toolbox. All right, so there you go. A quick look at Screamo by WA Production. It just came out. Links in the video description if you want to check it out on pluginboutique.com. I'm Joshua Casper. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.